A couple of months ago, I made a video, and in that video, I discussed what I believe to be the future of the gaming industry based on data and the trends of the time. However, I noticed a trend in the comments of that video. A trend in the form of people who were very passionate about handheld PCs, touting them as the future of the gaming industry. So, here we are. Are handheld PCs the future of the gaming industry? I don't think so. But before you rush to the comments to find my exact location, no, don't touch that. Just let me explain. When discussing the future of gaming, we can oftentimes be too quick to jump on trends before we dive deeper into the actual practicality of the situation. We can overhype. We're all guilty of that at one point or another. And I think that's the case with handheld PC gaming right now. And to find out why, we need to look at the target audience for this thing. The Nintendo Game Boy released in 1989 as a revolutionary product, a handheld gaming device, one that is actually appealing. This is not your grandpa's Game & Watch, this is your dad's Tetris we're talking about. But from the very beginning, the Game Boy faced tough competition. The Sega Game Gear was released in Japan in 1990 and pretty much everywhere else in 1991. Sorry, Australia. The two home console giants of the time now directly competing against each other in the handheld space. Who would come out on top? Well, it's not much of a surprise when you're 30 years into the future, is it? So, we already know the Game Boy absolutely demolished the Game Gear, but we need to take a closer look at the reasons why. And these reasons are what I call the handheld console laws for success. Follow these and you will be guaranteed to sell enough units to make more money than a small country's GDP. These rules are accessibility, portability, exclusive content, and last but most certainly not least, affordability. Let's see how these two stack up. The Game Boy only needs a couple of batteries to work, with a battery life unburdened by the energy-draining backlight that the Game Gear has to spend 6 AA batteries powering for as little as 2 to 5 hours of playtime. My god. The Game Boy is smaller, sleeker, easier to fit into your pockets, if you have thick pockets that is. This is the 1990s, remember? The Game Gear is somehow bulkier and thicker and wider than its competition, and that is not a good thing here. The Game Boy has unique exclusive content made just for it, including the beginning of the largest entertainment franchise in the world in the form of Pokemon. The Game Gear is mostly relegated to Sega Genesis downgrade ports. And what would it cost to take one of these babies home in the bygone age of the 1990s? $90 for the Game Boy and $150 for the Game Gear. Now we see. It's as clear as day why the Game Boy would come out on top. And it didn't matter that the Game Gear had a backlight or games displayed in full color, because if you're not on top when it comes to the handheld console laws for success, you're fated to take second place. This trend repeats itself for every single handheld console generation since, and Nintendo's dominance on the space is only challenged when their adversaries invest in accessibility, portability, exclusive content, and affordability. In fact, Nintendo only comes close to failure on the handheld market when they themselves forget about one of these essentials, immediately correcting course and saving themselves in the case of the 3DS. All that is to say that the handheld market prioritizes very different experiences when compared to home gaming, and taking advantage of these differences is what has led to success time and time again. Let's jump back to the modern day and see what problems the current handheld PC market is facing. And what better way to analyze them than to talk about the rectangle slab itself, the Steam Deck. Widely regarded as the most popular handheld PC, Valve's finally got hardware done right, and it is glorious. The Steam library of games you already own on your PC now right here in the palm of your hands. You'd be stupid not to get it if you have any interest in handheld gaming at all, right? Right? Problem number 1. Well, you see, the Steam Deck is targeting a specific kind of gamer. You can pick up the cheapest base version of the Steam Deck right now for $400. That's already $100 more than a base Switch, $150 more than a Switch Lite. The Steam Deck is still not available for purchase in most places around the world, and it don't play Mario. It don't play Mario.
Actually, it does play Mario. You can emulate.
Problema número 2. This guy does not know how to emulate. This guy barely knows what a Linux is, let alone has the experience to emulate anything. He's buying the console for the games it offers, the Steam library of games. And, oh wait, Problem number 3. Not all games on this store even run on the Steam Deck. That's another layer of complexity added. I'm sure you veteran PC gamers listening to me right now and thinking, well, that's just dumb. Look up if it's Steam Deck compatible. Check the hardware specs, tinker with the settings. And yeah, you can do all that. I've been gaming primarily on my computer for years now. I know that. But you know who doesn't? The vast majority of gamers, they don't know and they don't care to know. Why do you think the Nintendo Switch does so well to this day? That thing is running hardware made for the Nvidia Shield TV. 141 million units sold. Problem number, it's just a big issue, honestly. We need to fix this, guys. Seriously, let's take a look at this. Look who's purchasing handheld PCs. That's right, the PC gamer. It is a handheld PC after all. It is the computer gaming experience in your hands. PC gaming is more popular than ever before. It's been hyped for decades and it's in an amazing spot right now. Xbox Game Pass is on PC, Steam is probably the best gaming storefront there ever was, and you can take some free stuff from Epic Games from time to time, I guess. And also, playing online is free on PC. At a time where they're raising subscription prices just to be able to play online on the game you already bought on the console you already bought, the PC does it for free. And you know what's funny? Nothing of that matters at all to this guy. And this guy is, for better or for worse, actually millions of people in a trench coat. We often forget to remember the reason handheld consoles became popular at all those years ago. Accessibility, portability, exclusive content, and most importantly, affordability. We're focusing on the handheld side of the console market for this video, but most of what I said and will say still applies to your living room console experience too. Even more so sometimes. When's the last time you saw a computer hooked up to the living room TV for games? Yeah. But let's stay on topic here. The main competition for the Steam Deck at the moment is the Nintendo Switch. A console nearing the end of its life cycle. It's practically begging to be put out of its misery, and yet it keeps coming back for more. So let's compare these two guys based on the handheld console laws for success. Accessibility. I've went over that before. The Switch, you press a button and you're already playing. The Steam Deck, while you could do that, anyone who's played on a PC before knows that the first screen you're headed to with any new purchase is the graphical settings. Another quick reality-shattering fact for those more acquainted with PC gaming, not everyone knows what DLSS is, or is hyped for FSR 3.1 frame generation, although that's really cool, or knows what to do with the goddamn anisotropic filtering. I can't even pronounce that. 8X? Sure, fine. Leave it like that. Yeah, the Switch takes that one. But portability. Put these two side to side again and well, do I need to say more? The Switch is half the weight, fits easier in more places, has detachable controllers to make it even smaller and easier to store. However, that is not the only important aspect of portability. Battery life makes a big difference, so surely this big slab of hardware's got the Switch beat. Against the OG 2017 model? Barely. Against anything newer? Nope. But what about the exclusive content? Well, the PC handheld actually proposes a lot in this scenario, right? You have access to Steam, meaning you have access to a plethora of more demanding titles. Games that wouldn't dream of running on a Switch. However, games that can be played elsewhere. Usually, the handheld isn't the only gaming platform a person will own. So, if the handheld turns out as an extra added platform and not the sole spot to play your games, why would you pick the one where you can play the games elsewhere? When you cannot play any of Nintendo's first-party offerings anywhere else at all. If you have even the slightest interest in Nintendo games, it's a no-brainer choice immediately. If you want Zelda, you need a Switch. If you want Elden Ring, why pick up a Steam Deck when you can play it on Xbox One, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC? You see how we're narrowing down the proposed audience for this product? Now it's mostly people who would want to play, let's say, Elden Ring, but portably. There's still a lot of people out there that would, but there's not enough to pose a game industry shattering threat to the status quo. And finally, we have affordability. I touched on this at the start as well. The base Steam Deck model, $400. Base Switch, $300. Steam Deck OLED, $550. Switch OLED, $350. Well, there you have it. Some can argue that the Steam Deck offers more for the price. More hardware power, better storage, even better storage speeds. But to the average consumer walking into Walmart, that's not really gonna matter because if their kid wants to play Fortnite or something, the Switch is right there and the Steam Deck... Wait, Where's the Steam Deck again? That's right, problem number 4. Currently, the Steam Deck is only sold online through Steam. It's targeting the hardcore PC gamers and enthusiast market, and no one else. That's the market they're cornering here. It's not sold physically at all. I know we went through a lot in this video, and I might have even seemed a bit more heated than usual, but I just want to say that I absolutely adore the Steam Deck. I love the idea of handheld PC gaming. I am personally a PC gamer. My platforms of choice are PC and Nintendo Switch for the Nintendo games. At no point do I want to bash the Steam Deck senselessly. That's not the point of this video. It is a great product, but it's just not a product that appeals to a wide enough audience to truly become the mainstream future of gaming, as I've seen touted by a lot of PC gamers recently. We must remember why PC didn't kill consoles back then, and why all those factors are still mostly applicable today, even in handheld form. The PC and the console provide different experiences for different target groups. If the Steam Deck would want to thread into Switch territory, it would need tighter software integration, simpler interface designs. Ironically, and unthinkably for PC gamers, it would need less options, less tinkering, less user freedom. Because sometimes, for a lot of people, simplicity is king. You'll notice I didn't mention any other PC handhelds in this video, and that is because their problems are largely extrapolations of the Steam Decks. The Steam Deck is the closest to a console a PC handheld gets currently. Accessibility, affordability, all that, it's just worse with all other PC handhelds out there, because their differentiator is mostly their hardware specs. More high-end gaming in the palm of your hands. That has a market, but let's always look at the bigger picture. It is enthusiast hardware, not a mass market consumer product. And about the Xbox handheld, yeah, you thought I wasn't gonna mention it? Yeah, there's leaks and speculation going around on a supposed Xbox handheld console. It should fix some of the issues outlined in this video, right? An Xbox handheld could use a custom version of Windows like Xbox already does, a fully fledged console interface for the handheld. That can go a long way. However, well, it's not out yet. And probably won't be out this year. We don't know much about it, and next year the Nintendo Switch's successor is coming out. So there will be insanely tough competition for Xbox in the space if they don't beat Nintendo to market. And even if they do, will they pull ahead in accessibility, portability, exclusive content, and affordability? I sincerely doubt Xbox is very interested in that. While it might just end up as a true competitor to Nintendo's console handheld dominance, it can just as well be relegated to fighting for the increasingly crowded enthusiast PC handheld space. Only time will tell, and all we can do is wait and see what happens. Thank you so much for watching to the end, subscribe for more gaming content, and leave a comment telling me what you think is going to happen to the handheld gaming space in the coming years. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye!